Three. I like it. The countdown.
Yeah, I got my water too, so we should be all right.
Water, I got Lucozade and tea. I need it.
Yeah, I had a coffee just now, so I'm hoping it doesn't keep me up tonight.
You're going to buzz all the way through the night.
All right, so the stream is about to kick on. There we go. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm being joined tonight by the one, the only, the legend, Neil Donovan of the Mindless Chef. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm very well. Tired, but very, very well. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. We were just discussing that this is the first interaction that we've had almost face to face.
We're almost there. We're getting past that one barrier. We're almost
I know.
There.
Slowly but surely, man. Baby steps, baby steps. You were supposed to join me at the gym.
I was.
Yeah.
And that was another child catastrophe evening. It seems like everything I tried to plan lately, children interject and mess everything up. So I might just, I'll have to schedule around them. Apparently, that's where we're gonna have to end up.
I'm gonna have to talk to these kids. I'm gonna start taking it personally every time we have something going on. They keep messing it up.
You need to sort it out, man. They don't do this for anyone else. It's you.
Yeah, it's just me. It's just me. But bro, it is fantastic to finally connect with you. It's a shame we haven't been able to meet in person, but I've been so enjoying the work that you've been doing with the Mindless Chef and men's mental health and stuff like that. So maybe start with a little bit of telling your story, kind of like a little bit of where you came from and your journey into where the Mindless Chef is today.
Well, okay, so we'll start at the beginning of my mental health, I suppose.
Sure.
16 years strong, it's controlled the majority of my life for the past 16 years. In the kitchen, out of the kitchen with family, friends. It's kind of destroyed places that meant a lot and then have just disappeared because they don't stand up to mental health. Nothing much does. Right. And then, so I've been out of work now for it's been 18 months. No, it's a little bit longer than that. I had a breakdown a couple of years ago in work, which wasn't great, but they handled it very well.
Could you say what did you do for work when you were a chef? I assume.
Head chef, yeah.
Yes. Okay, excellent.
Very busy time at Christmas as well. It was entertaining for the guys in the kitchen and the people who had all their food booked in. I'm pretty sure they all had a good chuckle at it when I was finished.
Oh no.
That was a long day. So I've been off work since then. I've had 2 breakdowns ever since that. And it's been the struggle to overcome the breakdowns has become harder and harder as more stuff piles on top of the mind. It kind of gets taken away from it a little bit, and your fight becomes less. So then, my entire career has been kind of stress-lived. It is a very fiery relationship between me and the kitchen, and it's a give and take, but it takes more than it actually needs to. I think in life in general, I think it goes for any profession. Once you lend yourself to something and you go down that path, I think it takes more than you want to give it, I suppose. And mental health wise, it's taken me a long time to realize that a kitchen for me right now is not the best option to go down.
A professional kitchen.
And then, it's to be head chef in charge of 15, 20 people, when you got high stress customers in, especially if you're in a Rosette hotel or a Michelin restaurant. It's a very, very difficult position to put yourself in, especially if you struggle already with your mental health. It's not going to be a good relationship. And then we came to the end of last year and I had this brainwave to start something to bring food and mental health together. And this is where we ended up with the Mindless Chef. It was just a random piece of knowledge that popped into my head one night. And then Bethan called it the Mindless Chef because Beth I want
your partner.
My partner. Yeah. She's, we've been together. Hang on. Wait, I want to get this right now. 7 years. 7
Fantastic.
years.
We'll get to her story in a minute. Yeah.
If I'm wrong, it's 6 years, right?
Okay.
I've been
story.
getting her birthdays wrong as well. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they have one every year. I don't know why they do that.
How are you meant to keep up? You just can't do that. And I've got mine, and I got the kids. That's just enough.
That's too much, man.
Yeah. You were born. We get it. You're here. Let's just move on.
Let's move
on. She came up with the mindless chef because I wanted the mindful chef, and that's already a thing. Apparently, the mindful chef, they deliver food to your door in like Gusto boxes. The Hello Fresh things. And I was like, that's the perfect name, and you took it from me. So we mindless chef it was, and that's how it all became together. And my passion for food has never gone, really. I'm going through a bit of self-discovery now, but it's not gone completely. And I'm loving the journey it's given me right now. Loving it.
Fantastic. I mean, you do have a lot going on right now and a lot of projects that are on the horizon.
Chaos.
We're going to get to that. But tell me a little bit about when you were younger. Well, first of all, did you always wanted to be a chef? Is this something that you wanted to get into?
Okay, so no.
No.
I want. Is that noisy?
Yeah, it's past now. It's okay.
Smash him. He's up here every night. I'll catch him one day. No, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a tattoo artist or, a Van Gogh of my time, if it were. And so I went down the route of GCSEs into art and going into college to study art degrees and things like that. And then my father said, no, not for you. There's no money in it. You're never going to make money. You can't make a living. At the time, he was right. It was a difficult thing to make money in. And now, as we know, social media has given you the platform to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
and make as much money as possible. So it was a kind of secondary thing. I fell upon it.
Really?
I burnt my father's tongue off with a curry once, and he said, you should be a chef. And I went to college, started working, and then apparently he forced me into the career that's made me who I am today. And where would I be without him, eh? I'd be in some dirty alley trying to steal my art.
I mean, yeah, our parents, they got a lot to answer for.
They really do. They really do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so obviously you had an amicable relationship with your dad and stuff. Are you still talking to your dad? Is he still alive?
He's so the gentleman I call my dad is my stepfather, but he's my dad. My real father, I believe, had passed away many years ago. Didn't know him, didn't know who he was. He was a very difficult person, apparently. From what I've heard and the stories I've heard, he deserves to be where he is, wherever he is now. It's a very cut and dry. You deserve what you get at that kind of point. But my father, he's a wonderful human being. He lives in Merthyr, not far from here. He's
fantastic.
Yeah, he's an incredible man, a wonderful human being.
So I mean, I know in our dialogue, similar to me, you've recently moved out here to the Aberdare and to the valleys and stuff like that. Where did you move from before this? So
I moved from Scotland to England when I was 9. Yes. Then I moved from England to here when I was 14.
Yes.
And then I lived in Llanharan for many years. And then we've gone through, since Bethan and I got together in Llanharan, we've gone through 3 houses and we wanted Aberdare. We really wanted Aberdare. It was a lovely place. I used to live here with my sister many years back. But yeah, I absolutely loved Aberdare. Every time I come to visit, it'd be up in the valley somewhere. It'd be here, be close to Aberdare, because it's such a lovely place. The community is so tight, and you don't have that. If you go a little bit further down to Bridgend Place, you don't get that community spirit, that warmth that you get with everyone around here. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I mean, just to share a little bit of my journey.
Yeah.
So I am originally from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean.
Yes.
I landed
Beautiful.
in. Yeah, it's not great to be raised. Not too many job opportunities, but it's great to visit. Landed in Ashford, Kent. So I was in the southeast of England. Did the London thing for a while, right? It was too much partying, too much girls, drinks, drugs, rock and roll. You know, the whole nine is like,
I'm
no,
with you.
I cannot stay in London.
Too much.
Yeah, it was too much. Moved up to North London, Enfield. Then went on to Essex. I was in Waltham Abbey, fantastic place. That was the first place I ever was, and I felt like home. And then the gentleman I was living with and his wife, so the three of us in this 2-bedroom place, he got a fantastic job opportunity in China.
Oh, lovely.
Worst time to get it. I mean, literally, as all of this is going on. But I said to myself, I've always been drawn to Wales. I got an uncle out here. He's up in, I think, is it Newtown? He's in Newtown, Poyers.
Right.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And I have Powys. Thank you.
Powys.
I gotta go to. You gotta recommend like a Welsh school for me, bro. So I can get some of the words.
I'm just as bad. Being raised in Scotland is what's giving me the dialect I need to struggle with their language.
Yeah, it's closer though. But nonetheless, when I was looking for a place, I went Cardiff. I checked Newtown. I checked everything along the line. I was looking at Pontypridd, and something just told me go to the end of the line. And the last stop, of course, is Aberdeen.
That's it.
And I walked out, and I'm looking at the town. I mean, it's very beautiful looking off the train.
Very beautiful.
Coming across and looking at the town. I'm like, this is really cool. And just very quickly, I was exploring the area before I had any idea. And normally I'm a very talkative and very social person. And what I thought was absolutely fantastic was people were talking to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I didn't have to start the conversation like I normally do. And it was so trippy. I was like, what is going on? This is so surreal.
It's not London.
No, it's not many places. I have to say that.
No.
And I just knew this, for some reason, I knew this is where I had to be. And I'm kind of a serendipitous spiritual person, as you kind of know.
Yeah.
When I was doing my exploration of the area, I didn't stumble upon it at the time, but I came over it later on. My local pub back in Waltham Abbey was called the Welsh Harp.
Yeah.
That was the place that I went to for my drinks, and I knew everybody there and stuff like that. And it just so happened one day I was walking past the Aberdeen Gardens, and I saw the Welsh Harp, right? There's one out here, the Welsh Harp Inn. And that's when I knew, like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I completely share your sentiment that it's a very unique place. There's an energy about it, and the people have been fantastic. Would you agree?
Truly is.
Yeah, would you say that's the same?
The energy and the community spirit is just, you don't get it everywhere. You don't.
Yeah.
You just can't get it anywhere else.
I completely
There's
agree.
no way. There is no way. I challenge anyone to bring me a community like Aberdeen. No.
Totally
Wouldn't
agree.
happen. I can imagine it being like living in a little town in Italy. That close community relationship is
like old Europe. Yeah, those kind of. That's the feel I get.
That's the vibe. Yes, it's everything about it screams us together. And it's beautiful. It is really nice.
It really is. It really. So maybe we could touch a little bit about your early journey. So you were obviously you went through college. You got your training. Was there a specialty with your cooking? Was there a style that you particularly liked?
I went into French cuisine, which was that's the one they push you into because most kitchens you'll go into they'll surround French. Everything that derives from French cookery. It's right. In proper kitchens anyway. The harvester and things are very different kettle of fish. But yeah, in college it was always French cookery or kind of spanning through British cuisine and taking it more to the French cookery side than you would here. But when I went to train in Cardiff, it was mostly hotel work, and it's not glorious. It's just you're in there 15 hours slogging your guts out for very little money, and you're kind of wiping the dishes, and you're starting off at the very bottom. Yeah. It's a very, very strange experience. And then I moved to London for, where am I? 9 months to do Le Gavroche. And that was, oh my God, the skill and I fell in love with cookery.
Yes.
Immediately fell in love with it. Seeing that the hustle and bustle of a professional kitchen and the skills that it took to be there was it warmed my heart. And to this day, it gets to you. It sits in a place that gets stuck.
It really is artistry to see it done
It
well.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been privy to see a couple kitchens, and I mean, I'm not anywhere near that, right? I have an air fryer and a toaster, right? That's like my cooking. But to see it done well, yeah, I completely agree. It is mesmerizing almost.
It really is.
And I mean, obviously, you share that passion.
I love it. It's it's in me. It's part of who I am. And you know, when they say a weapon is just an extension of your arm, mine's a knife. That's just an extension of my arm. Is just a knife. That's it. It's born and bred within me. And my father apparently seen it sparkle somewhere in me and thought, just go into a kitchen. That's where you need to go. No money, long hours. Go enjoy yourself.
And good food.
Good food.
I think we have Charlie in the chat saying this is why, you know, our prompting of Abade is why they're moving
My sister,
back.
yes.
This is your sister. Yes.
Yes.
We were just mentioning her. So Charlie, we look forward to seeing you when you get out here. All right. So you graduate, you're working, you're doing the London thing. And could you start to discuss your first real encounter with the depression? I mean, I'm assuming it's depression is like the first mental struggle that you had to deal with, or was it anxiety? Maybe share a bit about that.
I think it was mostly depression was the one thing that got me. Yeah, depression was it runs in my family quite a lot.
Okay.
Pardon me. Runs through my mother. My mother's had it for many years, and she suffered very badly with it. I don't remember. I think we'll get to the problem later with regards to my diagnosis when I was younger, but I was 15 or 16 when it first cropped up, and my mother was the one who took me to see the doctor, and you know, the doctor said, "Take these, you'll feel better." And pills, take some pills, you feel better. It doesn't work like that. I know now that's not how it works. And yeah, that I think the initial take this, you'll feel better attitude was carried out for the next maybe 6-7 years. And before I started to become aware of, you know, what depression was and what mental health actually is, it, you know, until you start doing it yourself, you don't really reap any benefit from just listening to a general practitioner. It doesn't work like that. So I was around 15, 16 when it happened, but I never saw it as a problem. I never saw it as something that stunted me. It wasn't something that I suffered with, you know, and I believe today that medication that I was on triggered further mental health difficulties. Yes. And I think that then fed into my earlier life as a chef, and that kind of hand in hand, that's where it kind of manipulates itself to live within you, if you like. It's it's really difficult to just sit aside now and kind of separate myself from the other depressive Neil or whatever that I'll call him now. I'll come up with a name for him one day. We'll figure something out. Yeah, so 15, 16 was it's a strange time, a very strange time. Yeah. And
of course the drugs, the SSRIs and stuff like that, a lot of the medical people just think, oh, well, you know, what do we need? We need more serotonin, or we need whatever. We're just going to stick it in the brain, not really understanding a lot of the underlying causes and stuff. So it's unfortunate because when you start to flood areas of the brain that don't need that extra boost or that serotonin intake, they don't, you know, your brain may not be lacking anything at all. And when they start to introduce meds and say, oh, if these work and try these will do the same job, but powerful. They're better, they're stronger, they're this. But there's no psychological analysis going on anywhere. There's no breakdown of your health. There's no reasoning that they should be giving you this medication in the beginning. And that's where we find ourselves right now, to be fair. It's a very... completely agree.
It's a very strange time to be... And, you know, we'll get to the COVID-y thing taking over, but I think my relationship with mental health had to come out sooner because I felt the need to help now, because it's a very difficult There's people are really suffering, and they're getting that information again that I was given when I was 14. Take these, you'll feel better. And that's not how things should work, especially when you're an older person, or you're 20, 30 years old and you're first experiencing depression. That's not the way to go about things, and that's where we need to, that's where I am at the moment.
No, good. I completely agree. The pill culture that kind of permeates our health system. I mean, mostly in the West, it tends to be, North America and stuff. Just give them a pill. If there's pain, take a painkiller, and this kind of thing. And there's, the drug companies are making money and stuff.
Of course they are. Yeah. Full of it.
And this is the thing. We don't even fully understand the brain.
No.
And, we've seen progress in pretty much every other area of medicine, if it's cancer, joints,
years of research. Years and years and years of decades of research. But the brain is still left unknown.
Exactly. The mental health facility, we're still doing the same stuff. We're still doing the same counseling. We're still doing the same psychiatry. It really hasn't evolved in at least 100 years. So I'm very glad that you were able to come to your senses, not relying on the pills, and realize you needed to do more. I mean, did you have any? You obviously had a formal diagnosis. Did you do any kind of psychiatry or psychology or any counseling?
So I went through when I first met Bethan. I actually I had my first breakdown not long before I'd met her, and I was in a train track, and I was ready to go. It was at that stage where I'm done. It's over, Luckily, it was a Sunday. There were no trains.
Oh, praise God.
So praise God. Something happened there, and I don't know how that worked, but something went my way.
Something was working for you, yeah.
And it was shortly after my lockup in hospital. It was a good few days, and then initial treatment afterwards. I started with a psychiatrist, and it carried on for the past the next 3 or 4 years. It was very, very beneficial to have that one person who was looking after my mind and going back to when I was 6, 7 years old and bringing everything out that kind of developed within me at my early teens as well. To have that one person not just giving you medication to fix you, not just throwing you the pills and saying, let's hope this helps. And I think we're lacking that today because we're so overloaded with people suffering from mental health that the NHS can only cope as much. And pills are so much easier to train than people these days, and they'll throw them out because it saves time, it saves money, and the less diagnosis you have to make, the less treatment that person needs further on down the line. And that's pretty bad, a bad way to look at it. But I'm lucky that I've had some therapy, and it lasted a while, and then my therapist passed away, which was heartbreaking and all that. And then I didn't have therapy then for about 2 years, and then we moved here, and I'm having regular therapy in Mountain Ash, who are, I have to just say, are just superb. They are incredibly wonderful people. And the gentleman who is in charge of therapy down there, he's the one who actually gave me my diagnosis, which was
really
16 years of struggle. And he's like, I got you covered. And I'm like, oh, yes. Wow. Wonderful. I wasn't this smiley a year ago. Oh, dear.
Good. Because there is a very big stigma about the whole idea of counseling and psychiatry and especially for men. And I know this is a passion of yours, that these are the things that we need to address. Oh, we've lost your camera. I don't know. Are you still there? Oh man. Okay. So I don't know if you're still listening, bro. If anything, you could rejoin the stream or, go on. I'll just finish the point on that. That even for myself, I mean, I've never had any kind of formal depression or anything like that, but I always saw the need for, counseling and these other types of things. Especially when I moved out here to the UK, I was a absolute mess, and I kind of set it upon myself that I was going to do at least 6 sessions of counseling every year as part of, the whole New Year's resolution and stuff like that. And yeah, I did that for the first 3 years. And eventually I did meet somebody who was like, fantastic, did the same thing that Neil was talking about where, so he's lost the stream. Hopefully he'll rejoin us in a minute. So yeah, I was doing the same thing. You know, they were going back, digging out trauma, doing all these different types of things. And I mean, it's amazing. The body stores that trauma in sickness and health and stress and fear. And it could be things that you did back when you were like 4 and 5 years old. And for some reason, it's still affecting you. You get this programming that's affecting you even to this day. So yeah, I don't know where our friend is. I don't know if he's lost power or what the case might be. There's so much more to his story that I really was hoping to get into. Let me see if he's sending me a message here. Or stay. So yeah, he just sent me a message here. So hopefully he'll be joining us. Here he is. Let's go. Welcome back, bro. What? The device not connected. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, we can't see you. I don't know if your camera has gone out.
Tell you something now. Right. I am not appreciating that. Hang on. Wait for it.
No problem.
There we are.
There we go.
There Perfect. We go.
Sorted.
My whole upstairs just went.
The power just died. Is that what?
But we're back. Sitting here in the dark, like, where did you go? Oh,
that is the good thing about StreamYard. It's very versatile.
It stays there.
It stays there. You just need to jump back in, man.
Oh, dearie me.
I was just sharing that, you know, even for myself, I was never diagnosed with anything. I mean, as all people, you get depression, you get periods of anxiety. You know, I've had a lot of trauma. And the counseling, when I came to the UK, I decided, you know, I want to work on myself. I want to be the best version of myself. I'm going to do at least 6 sessions of counseling every first of the year. You know, your New Year's resolution.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, yes. Very good. I liked it.
Yeah. So, you know, I had a couple of years, you know, great people. And then I stumbled upon one lady, and she did exactly what you were talking about, like going back and finding the trauma as a young man. And she took me back to like when I was like 3 or 4, something very, very obscure. And you realize that the body is not really designed to hold trauma, but we do. And I've been holding it. I'm almost 40. So 3-4 years, that's 36 years. My 4-year-old self has been holding on to this sadness and pain, waiting to express that. And all of these programmings are actually still affecting us to this day. So, you know, cheers to you, man. I'm glad to hear that's definitely helped you out.
Oh, definitely. It is. It's incredible what the mind holds. It genuinely is. Once you start looking into it, and there are triggers that tick you off, and then they get to certain memories, and then it starts to unfold like a book, and then you're learning things that you had no idea about. And it's a very incredible thing to go through, and people need it more than, you know, pills and stuff. Pills are wonderful. If I didn't have pills, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. That's
fair enough.
That just wouldn't be happening. So they have their place, but you need that diagnosis and treatment before you even go anywhere near them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, would it be okay to just discuss a little bit about how you met your partner? And yeah. I don't want to pry, if that's okay, but I'd love to hear that story.
I'm a pretty open book, to be fair. It's not.
Good.
I didn't start the whole social media thing to be like, oh, this is mine. You don't get to know. So she's lived in Clonharry all her life. Well, no, she hasn't. She lived in the valleys. She was a valley girl, as I call her from now. And I like to figure out
what that means, because I don't know too many of them.
You are yet to find out of what a true valley girl means. Yeah, you will one day in the future. Not in Aberdare. Not in Aberdare. You want to go further afield for that kind of luxury, if you like.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we met on. I was living at my grandfather's at the time. He was very, very sick, and I was going through a few operations, and we were taking it in turns within the family to look after him. And it was, I think that played its part in my mental health. But the period I was up there with him was gratifying, because I wasn't on tech. I wasn't on YouTube or anything like that anymore. I was having time with an old man chatting rubbish over gin and watching, countdown with Carol Vorderman days, back in those days. And I met Bethan whilst I was up there, and it was randomly through Facebook. We started talking, and we talked for, I think it was a good, she's going to hate me, but it was a good few weeks. Let's say a few weeks. That way I'm covering myself at either end. It was a few weeks talking, and we were on the phone, and we had video chats like this, and it was, we felt comfortable almost immediately. And then I finally met her when I went down to visit my father and my mother, and to have a break from the old man, as he once was. And we met, I think, the day after I went down. And it was incredible. It was, as soon as she stepped out of the car, I was like, there you go. That's it. We're done. No more looking. No more.
She's
no
the
more
one.
looking for anything. There she is. That's it. That's what I'm waiting for. Done.
Amazing.
And that we had a few moments back and forth where there was a big erupted argument with the family up at my grandfather's, and her and her friend got in their car, and it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, driving through the lanes, trying to find a house they'd never been to before up in Carmarthen. No. And that was, those little days we laugh about all the time, because those were the days that we were the closest we'd ever been,
That's amazing.
And so we're now 3 children in, and 3 houses later. It's 4 children in, sorry. 4, we'll say 4.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I mean, she's obviously been tremendously supportive of you and what you're doing.
Incredible.
I mean, she's your number one. You speak so highly of her. I mean, she has her own issues. We don't want to talk for what she's going through.
Of course, yeah.
But I know very much you probably would not be where you are now if it weren't for her. Is that safe to say?
I'm safe to say I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for her. Yeah, she's been with me through a hell of a lot of low points, and where I've been thrown in the towel a few times. And if she wasn't there, it'd be a very different conversation we'd be having today. I'd be waiting until you're dark sleeping. I'll just be haunting your house, waiting for you to wake up just to tell you my story.
I mean, to be fair, she was the one who first put me in touch with you. So when I moved out here, I joined the Aberdare Facebook group.
Yes.
And I said, hey guys, look, I'm moving to the area. And she actually reached out to me like, hey, you should meet my husband. He's a chef and he does all these things. And that's really how we started to get in contact and stuff. So I definitely give her props. We wouldn't have been here without her. So absolutely.
No, we would not. We'd be somewhere else. We'd be a few months behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's a no-brainer. She's my life partner.
Absolutely.
All. Yeah.
I look forward to meeting her and the kids. And you said you got 4 kids now. Is that right?
No, we lost 1. But we've got 3, so I have to say 4. Otherwise, it's just
sure.
That's not fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're 4 in. So my sister's 8 in, but it's 7, and that's again similar situation.
Amazing.
But it's my father's feeling it. I think when they move, closer, he's gonna have all the children just at his front door. I'm sure he's gonna love it. I'm sure he'll be beside himself. I'm sure.
That's fantastic. So now that you've settled in, you have started this community on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I think you've got 2 Facebook pages: the Mindless Chef and the Mindless Chef support group. Is that right?
Yes. So one is a private group and one is a public domain.
Is more public and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you want to expand a little bit on what's going on in the community, what you're doing right now for sharing your journey and even some of the contests that you're running in that group.
So, like I said, initially it started off just as an idea, and then I come to 11 weeks in to the project coming out to fruition, and it wasn't meant to be out until November, December time because nothing was ready, and it's still not ready. I'm still playing catch up with myself to keep feeding content out. But we've just hit, I believe, just now, about 40 minutes ago, we hit 600 people following and liking on the page.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
And thank you, man. And the work it's taken to just get to 600 was incredible. And I never thought that we'd get to that stage. We surpassed 120,000 views. I was buzzing.
Amazing.
The other day, I was just beaming out the window, laughing and filming myself for no apparent reason.
That. Yeah.
That was madness. But yeah, the whole thing is, the end goal is to treat mental health one meal at a time. And for me, that doesn't just mean feeding people. It means feeding our minds, bringing nutrition into our diets properly, because depression takes away that need for and that thirst for nutritional value you give yourself. Yes. And your mind needs that sustenance to keep going strong. And unfortunately, when you suffer with depression, that doesn't factor in at all. And you start binge eating and things start to become a little bit scatty. And, I know it happens. I'm there, and I'm still there now, and I'm still pushing through that motion. But ideally, right now, we're trying to build a community to kind of give us a ground where when we do start to bring things out and the website is finished and everything is flourishing and everyone's ready for content and stuff, when YouTube finally kicks off, that's going to be the main hub, other than Facebook and things like that. That'll be that's going to be our little hub for people. And then YouTube's just going to be our hub for everything video content, because that's where we need it to be. Yes. But yeah, the community we're building now it's wonderful. It is absolutely wonderful. And they're not just from the UK. There's a few from the US, and there's a couple from Asia, and awesome. There's a couple of guys from Scotland, and I'm starting to make contacts in areas of where we are now, and that wouldn't have happened should I not have brought this out for everybody to see. And to be able to make connections and this kind of networking with you, and that kind of the communication with other people is key, because otherwise I'm just one person on Facebook with a keyboard typing away, making fancy art and stuff with nothing to back it up with. It's just a person doing the same old, But yeah, we're solid now, and things are actually picking up pace. We've got organizations coming to us now, trying to build up a relationship for charity events and things like that going down the line. And last week I had Business Wales, who offer financial advice and loans and so much business support for charities and non-profit groups and things like that. And at the beginning, I didn't see it as a business. Right. I didn't see it going anywhere into a business sense. It was something I was just going to bring a community together. It's going to be fun. There's going to be videos. It's going to be cooking. It's going to be getting together and this, that, and the other. But apparently there's a lot of paperwork that has to go behind that.
Yeah, it's not that easy, is it?
Who knew? No, it's not as easy as just going, this is a YouTube channel, this is what we're doing. It's a case of I'm in charge of 600 people now, and I've got a private support group that I have to feed legal information to, because it's important that they're safe, and I'm safeguarding everyone. And there's a lot that goes on behind it, and I'm now trying to pick up all that extra work that I didn't foresee happening, because I didn't see it getting this big. I didn't see anyone reaching anything. It was just for me to get my own mind focused and to bring food and health back together for me mainly. Right. And it's become now a very big community here. So I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
I can see it. I can see it. And you have a lot to be proud of. It takes a lot of work to build up a community and get that kind of interaction.
No, thank you.
You're doing it in the best way. It's, you're not afraid to get on camera, even when it is difficult, and you just put it out there. You check on
do it.
Yeah. And that's the show. That's a father, right? If I put it bluntly,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
That is a true father, that even when it's difficult and it's hard and it's cold and wet and miserable, you gotta get up and you gotta get it done.
You gotta do it. You gotta get it done. Yeah. And I get that from my sister. That is
really fantastic.
Without her drive and getting up at 4 a.m. and going to bed at 1 a.m. for the past 14 years.
That's amazing.
I don't know how she does it. She is like a machine. and she drills it into me every day. You did
Really?
this. You're a dad. You need to do this. Pick up your shit. Get it done.
Yes.
You'll thank yourself later. Doesn't last forever. These days don't last long. And when you meet her, you'll know she's an incredible character. She truly is a champion. She really is. Earth Mother herself, I call her.
Fantastic. Well, next time we'll bring her on and we'll have a good
We
chat.
will, yes. We have to do something. I'm sure she'd love that. She'd absolutely beside herself.
Now take us back into the kitchen. You never gave up the cooking. Is that a safe statement? And I know you've been doing recipes on the page, and you've got a big project outdoors in your house that I don't know if you could give that away or not.
It's not started yet.
But it is the plan.
It's coming, next year.
Next year. Okay, brilliant.
It's a pretty big one, for me anyway. Yeah.
So let's just touch a little bit on what have you learned about the importance of nutrition when it comes to mental health. Like where have we been getting it wrong, or some misconceptions maybe?
We've been getting it wrong when when you try these diets. I'm not a big fan of diets in particular, and especially ones that tell you you're going to lose this much weight and it's going to help your mind. And that claim that it's going to help your mental health is something I can't buy it.
Sure.
That's not how it works. It's not how it works. And from what I've learned over the past, maybe, the last 8 months, I've been taking it seriously, is that these people who say, this is what you need to do to feel better, this is what you need, this is where you have to be, the people who are giving the information aren't trained in any particular way to give you that information. And I've been talking to a few dietitians and nutritionists over the past couple of weeks, and the information that they have is invaluable for me to take forward on where I'm hoping to end up. Yes. Because if I don't have I have a basic understanding of how our bodies react to food, and how dietary information is received in the brain, and how we process food for our own personal gain. Each individual person gets something different from food. Doesn't matter what you're eating. You can give everyone the same diet, but it won't fix anything. It doesn't fix anything at all. So my whole discussion with these dietitians and nutritionists and things, I learned that every single dietitian has to be registered and trained to a degree and go through university and work within a health board to be classed as a dietitian.
Right.
You can't just become a dietitian. You can't just say you are one.
Yes.
But then these nutritionists, I know I'm not gonna slag them off. I'm gonna bite my tongue. These are just people who say, I'm a nutritionist.
Yes.
That's it. There's no training. I don't know anything, but I'm a nutritionist, and I'm gonna pay people. I'm gonna charge people money to give them information that could be detrimental to their health. It could be detrimental to their mental health, and it could possibly make things a hell of a lot worse for that person. So I've started learning a lot. I know a lot about food, but I didn't realize I didn't know a lot about who these people were, which is right now is invaluable information for me, because it's now giving me the knowledge I need to build on and categorize the Mindless Chef in portions, if you like, for certain individuals who are suffering from this mental health or that and this, and there are going to be areas where I'm going to be able to help and interject and assist people on a journey that they're going to go through on their own. It doesn't, not one size fits all at the end of the day. And where I want to be is I want to have people come back to me and say, this is working, this is great, this is helping, this hasn't helped, because that information for me, then I can turn it on myself and feed it back to people properly. Correct. The way they're not getting from these people online going, I can make you this fit and this strong and this, I'm mentally well. And no, that's not how that works. Until today, I didn't know much about how nutrition affected the brain, and the amount of research I've had to do. These bags don't come just from children.
They take a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And Beth can attest to that. She's Oh, she's on me all the time. Oh, you spend too much time doing this. You've done this. You've done that. But if I don't learn, I can't help.
Exactly.
That's where I am. That's exactly where I am right now. And that's, it's wonderful. There's so much knowledge, but it's wonderful.
Have you picked up anything in your cooking that you're considering changing or switching or?
So, no.
Not yet. Okay, fair enough. I had to ask.
my knowledge of food is second to none. I know, give me anything, I'll cook it. I know my shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll be able to implement and create different menu structures and not specifically diets, but because we don't need a diet to live. You don't need someone to tell you what to eat. That's not how life works. I've put on 3.5 stone by taking medication. That's not a diet. That's just me getting fat from pills.
Yeah, exactly.
but there's no magic pill to get that off. That's just hard work, determination, and eating properly. And people, I don't want to say all people, because that's pretty broad, but the majority of people who come to me and say, I'm putting weight on, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I think, well, you're doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong because I'm addicted to my food. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Bethan can hear me downstairs like a hamster rummaging through chocolate and crisps. That's medication related. That's not me.
There you go.
It's a drive that it's in me, and I have no idea where it come from. I'm starting to look at how my food can be adapted to fit more people rather than just myself and Bethan, because it's a learning curve. It's truly something that I'm never going to stop learning with at all.
I completely agree.
You can know as much as you want about food, and you can be one of the best chefs in the world, but you are not a dietitian.
Correct.
And I've started realizing that because I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I know how to make amazing desserts and incredible sweets. I know how to roast a good joint of meat, but nah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I totally hear you. I totally hear that.
Different profession.
It really is. I think there are probably some. I think the big thing, and I never encountered this so much until I reached the UK.
Mm-hmm.
We don't eat a lot of real food, like generally speaking, right? And even the things we think are like health food, they're heavily processed, they're refined, and your body looks at it like, what the hell is this? Just store it. We'll deal with that later.
Put it in the fridge. It's fine.
yeah. That's the
vacuum packet. We'll keep it for next year.
Pretty much. That's
you might as well.
Stored in the fat, and that's exactly where it goes. So I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think if we, just as a start, to get back to eating real food.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge step, no matter what your diet is. I do advocate, yes, I am on a carnivore diet, a dirty carnivore diet, because I still like my pizzas. I have a cheat day on the weekend.
You got to.
Yeah, of course. You got to live, man. But yeah, I don't recommend it for everybody. It's worked for me pretty well. A couple of my friends didn't work so much, and they have more Asian DNA. There wasn't as much meat in Asia for their ancestors, so they can respond. They're fine with high carb, with the noodles and the rice. And
I wish.
You wish you had that?
Oh, yes. No idea.
I do miss some rice and some noodles.
Yeah, man.
Oh, there's this fantastic cafe that I go to out here. I think it's Puka Tuka or something like Puka Tuka or something like that. And I get a stack. I basically made them create this thing for me, which is four beef burgers, a sausage, like a full-length sausage that they slice up with an egg and cheese. So it's literally it's like a stack like that. No bun.
It's a man burger. That's just
and bacon, right?
Oh, you gotta have bacon.
It's fantastic. I'll send you a picture of it when we're done with the conversation.
Yes.
So they created this for me. Right, it was one of the first places I get. So I go there and I say, "Oh, I'm getting the stock," and everybody thinks they love making it, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy.
Burger.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But that's my cheat meal. Like that is that's what I'm going on. And I have another friend. He does something similar, but he eats that. He puts on a whole bunch of weight, and again, it's his genetics. I have more of that going on. He doesn't. So, but yeah, I think you're right. I love the idea that you're getting into the nutrition side of it. I mean, it is a minefield. No, because we don't really know.
We can't know. We can't know. No, we can't. And the back to basics thing is something that I've always done at home. Always.
I've seen that. Yeah.
My kids eat crap, right? I'm not going to cover it up. The children at that age, I went through a phase where they loved garlic, chili. They'd eat chilies raw with me in the kitchen. They nibble on bits of garlic and stuff. And now it's chicken nuggets, pizza, fish fingers, baked beans, and all the crap that I used to eat when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're brought up to do.
Yes.
It's like technology. They know what technology is now.
Yeah.
As soon as they come out, they're like, and it's the same with food. They'll go to the junk food because it's easier to process and it's quick to eat. Throw some ketchup on it, it's gone.
Exactly.
But I'm homemade stocks. I reduce my own onions. I fat pack all my food. I freeze everything down. I do it because I know we'll benefit from that more than we will when we have our bad days and we just want to throw something in the oven like a pizza. Yeah. So for me, the kind of the value I hold in making food at home is second to none. I absolutely thrive on knowing where my food's coming from.
Yeah.
I've got a chain of events that happened where that animal come from.
Yes.
I know I know it's got a label on it. I know exactly where it's from and I'm happy with that. I'm absolutely happy
exactly.
with it. My own stock, my own bones. I know where they're coming from. I know what farm they're coming from. And they're cheap. And they're, you can get a bag of bones for a couple of pounds. And it's a no-brainer. But people don't have the necessary skills to do that themselves. And I think that's where at the moment, that's where we're currently looking to build the relationship with food with everybody on the Mindless Chef. That's where my aim is right now. And then the nutritional factor-ins, they'll come in as I start to create stuff later on. But this is,
excellent.
Basics. You know what it is. It's basics. It's necessity of living. It genuinely is.
I mean, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's going to be a Mindless Chef cookbook at some point. Am I letting the cat out of the bag?
I've got a couple. I've got a couple in my mind, and I've got scrupulous notes on both of them because one of them is going to be for the kind of intermediate cook, the beginner cook who's never cooked anything in their life, and the only way you get those cookbooks is if you go to college or university to train, and they're about 60, 70 quid a book. Right. And that's not for everybody, who wants to spend that and who wants to read up how to do this specifically and how to unwrap an onion, do it stage by stage, 3 pages in, and that's like £5 right there. 3 pages of slicing an onion. It's not what we need. But I'm glad you touched on that. I'm excited about those. That's in my
Fantastic.
I'm on it. Then the second book is for the advanced Mindless Chef. That's gonna be awesome.
Is there might be a cafe, maybe like a small restaurant, bistro type thing, maybe?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted a restaurant.
Not a big one, something.
Oh no,
small.
I wanted a big one.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home, man. Get a Michelin star, or just go fix a car for you the rest of your life. But I don't know. My plan for the outdoor kitchen, as you've mentioned earlier, is
I didn't say what it was, but
no,
you've let the cat out of the bag.
Let it out. That's my cheat of getting around having a restaurant for now. I think that's my goal for next year, is to have a portable kitchen that I can invite people from the community around, and we can cook together, drink together, enjoy the views wherever we drive it to, and it's just. Oh my God! You have no idea.
I know you're very excited. Even I'm excited. I can't wait to come out for the barbecues and everything else.
I'm beaming, man. It's just insane.
Great.
I honestly can't wait.
We don't have too much time left. I want to touch a little bit on something your wife touched on today, which is how important exercise is in terms of helping mental health. Do you want to share a little bit about that and how you might be in touch with some people who are kind of promoting fitness and other things?
So I've started I've started building relationships around people who are starting similar stuff like the Mindless Chef, tackling mental health with fitness. MJ, who I've recently just started to learn who he is, and I've started to kind of know about his story, has started up a charity called Mentor Fit Training. And he's a soldier, and he has all this experience with mental health, and his fitness is incredible. You know, and he knows exactly how people need to function that brain properly. And the way to get there is through physical well-being. And it is true. It is absolutely true. And for me, that's been a proper difficult one to get over, as we've kind of seen. I don't do anything. I struggle to do anything lately. I used to go to the gym.
You'll get there.
I used to go to the gym. I before I started my shift in work, an 18-hour shift, I go to the gym for an hour, finish my 18-hour shift, and then go back into the gym. And that was 6 days a week. And now I've got 3 children, and I can't be bothered to make a sandwich. But yeah, that's he's one of the guys I'm currently working with now, and we're going to try and discuss a few more down the line. But Bethan, to be fair to her, she's never done physical exercise. Never. And we've talked about it a few times. She's never ran. She's never done. She used to write her own notes to get out of gym in school. That's,
right.
That's who she was, and that's who she is now. But recently, she started having problems with mental health, and it's not been a frequent problem throughout her life. It's made appearances every now and then. But since I've known her, she's had 1 or 2 slips of mental slipping. But recently, she started to notice that if she has something to kind of range a goal upon, if she provides that goal to herself, that's, self-gratification in a way, and she's empowered by that. She's empowering herself. And I love that about her, because I can't do that right now. And it's one of the hurdles I'm trying to get to. But she's started doing the walks for the mind. She started walking every morning, even if it's only like 3-4 miles. It's wonderful to see. And then she randomly started doing morning workouts, which is something I've never seen her run, let alone do a workout. And she's still not letting me do it. She's still not letting me see her do it. I have to keep upstairs with the children at like 6:30 while she does her workout, and then everyone goes downstairs. And yeah, but I'm kind of sneakily getting her into workout with me every day now. Good. In the mornings. I'm gonna go live with them on Facebook, because I think it's important that we share that a little. My jelly belly going up and down and exercising, that needs to be seen by everybody.
Yeah, that's just what we need in the morning.
Just what you need for your morning cup of coffee, a good jiggly laugh. That's what we need.
Come on, man. Come on. No, I am very proud of you, because we were supposed to meet up at the gym.
We were, yes.
I think was it last week Friday or
week before last? Friday. Yes,
yeah, one before. That's true. And I know life happens. All that kind of stuff. I totally get it. And I told you, it's like this, at least you made that effort. At least it was
the one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. You put that in your mind, and you probably would have done it had it not been for the, the tough night with the kids.
Had I not felt that night made me depressed. Had I not felt depressed, I would have gone. It was something I told Bethan before we went to sleep, it was something I was really looking forward to, because I've been building myself up to do it for so long, and then COVID came along and stopped everything happening. I'll touch on that a little bit, actually, because
let's do that before we
before I met you. Well, before we discovered that you'd be moving here,
connected.
I actually reached out to Aberdare, the community, because I put a post out. And I think I shared a video as well when I had a little breakdown and I was in tears, and I wrote a long post saying I'm suffering with this, and I'm reaching out to see if anyone is in the same position as I am to join a gym with me, to have a gym buddy, so we can exercise and go through it together and fight mental health together and do it as a down at the gritty. And I had 15, 20 different guys message me. I'm new to the area. I suffer with really bad mental health. I'd like to go to the gym as well. I could use this assistance. And then I said, look, why don't we all go? In sessions, we'll book it in sessions. We'll do it together. It'd be great. It'd be amazing. Then COVID came along and screwed everyone over.
Screwed everything up.
And, those people that I was talking to have now slipped further into depression. So they're not at the stage where they want to kind of reach out and go
Motivated
to
do it.
exercise. Yeah. So when you came along, and I was like, big guy,
Let's
looks like
do
we
it.
can take. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can't even lift a bottle of water without straining myself. But let's do it.
I mean, it's a great point that you raised, and maybe expand a little bit on that, on how the COVID situation and maybe the lack of routine, you can't go out and you can't meet with other people. How has that affected your household? Just briefly.
So for me, for myself, not much. I was already in a very dark place, before COVID came along, and I was rarely out the house anyway. So it didn't really affect me as myself.
Okay, fair enough.
The kids being dragged out of school, Beth and not having their morning walk to take them to school and picking them up and doing the things that we'd normally do. We clean the house and things. That very, very quickly stopped. And it's probably the same for a lot of families. At the moment, we're in a very strange position where our mental health is now becoming so hard to fight through that people are now changing their mind about sending their kids to school. Whereas should they have been in the mindset prior to this, they wouldn't be where they are now, and they would be sending them back to school. It's in a sense, I personally, I see it as people are sharing an experience with family now, or especially around Aberdare. Some of them, families don't spend much time together. They work long hours, and it slowed things down. And for some families, it's been a wonderful experience for them because they're getting that connection again. They're rediscovering their children again. And it is probably the loveliest time, barring not leaving the house and not going anywhere, of course, and it's that togetherness, I think, has really played a big part in everything we've gone through with COVID. And my mental health hasn't really changed much with it. And I think that's where Bethan's mental health kind of started deteriorating when COVID came out, because everything changed so dramatically. We were here July, August time last year, had a good Christmas, and then COVID came along and screwed everything over. And we were just settling into the area, just getting to know the schools and this, that, and the other. I adapt quite well to that myself, but she doesn't. And once she gets into that mindset of our kids are going to school, it's great, it's wonderful. And as soon as that's taken away from you, it hurts. It drags you down badly. And it's hurt so many people, but it's also done so much good for others. And I think that's, if you can take something good away from it, it's a horrible thing to happen. And we're not at the end yet. And I can see a lot more happening. That's another video. I think that's just, I can go so much on the political aspect of everything, man. I think mental health wise, it's really taken a beating. We've suffered pretty badly with it.
I totally hear that. And I agree with you. I think in many respects, nobody saw this coming.
No,
a lot of people are just not mentally prepared for it regardless.
No.
Absolutely. So just on a couple of the closing points, where would you like to see the issue of men's mental health? Well, not just men, but mental health in general. What is like the biggest thing that you hope that this group will accomplish? Like, what is your goal for it then?
My end goal is to have multiple groups. I don't want to focus my energy on one thing. Yes. I think we all have, the Mindless Chef may not be for everyone. Food might not be for everybody. And I totally get that. So my personal growth, the where I want to end up, is I'll have different groups and pages for people to come together over many different subjects. And I'm hoping that by doing that, we're not cramming the internet full with one page with 50,000 people becoming aggressive and all the, I'm already part of some groups that are 30 to 100,000 people strong.
Yeah.
And I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want to have it's too many. No matter how many admin you have, no matter how many moderators you have, you can't control that amount of content. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. And people start to share negative too much, and you don't help mental health. You're actually hurting it. And I think we don't need that. You don't need the hurt anymore. We're trying to fix mental health. We're trying to reduce the stigma in men's mental health. We're trying to reduce stigma all around.
Yes.
But if we're going to keep pushing groups further and further up in numbers, we're going to lose people more. And I don't want that to happen. I want to have a select few pages and groups and community gatherings where we can actually meet up, arrange days, and we can arrange, holidays eventually. We can go out into the wilderness and just have time together. And I think that in itself would prove invaluable to mental health, not just for me, not just for people around me, but the entire community. As long as there's somewhere for you to be safe and happy and comfortable, then, why can't we hit that? And why can't we just fix it for good? It's not going to fix everything. I'm not God, right? I'm not Jesus. And I'm not saying I'm not Jesus either, right? But
exactly.
I mean, we can't fix things. We just try our hardest to help reduce the situation we're in. And I think that's where I want to end up. I want to end up in a very positive place with many people beside me. I'm trying to get as many contacts as possible who aren't in it for the money, who aren't in it for the glorification or egotistical rising or whatever. I want people to be part of it, to be able to help and to assist and to bring joy to others and help others with struggle. I don't want people to think, I'm going to get money from this. It's going to be a fruitful venture. This isn't money. This isn't
right.
It's people's minds.
Absolutely.
And people's sanity. It's people's lives that we need to fix. And that for me is, I've lost too many friends to depression, and 8 friends down to suicide is not something I want anybody else to suffer with. Even that one person, one death is too many. Mental health's taken far too much from us already. We need to give back. We need to bring it and rip it to shreds. I swear to God. If I could do it myself, I would. I tell you now, I'd absolutely ruin it.
I could not agree with you more. And what I really love about the content that you put out, you are so community focused. And for a lot of people, it's just knowing that they're not alone.
Yes.
That in itself is such a huge, it's massive. It's the great connector at the end of the day. Knowing, okay, even though we can't physically be there, I know that in spirit, or however you want to say it, we're connected. I'm not going through this alone. And I love that you do that with this group, and I see the responses. I see people jumping on. I mean, I make stupid jokes and whatever, but you have a great bunch of guys and girls that have, they're being honest, they're being vulnerable, they're being very open about their struggle, and they're along for the ride. I think they very much want to see this project succeed, and they want to support you, and I'm sure they'd love to meet up when it's all said and done.
I hope so.
Finally do that.
Yeah, I hope so. I think once we get to this stage where everyone is out and mingling again, I think we'll see an increase of everyone getting together a little bit more.
Absolutely.
People are hurting right now, and they're not sharing as much, and I completely appreciate it. I like the idea that people reach out to me, message me, and I absolutely love it. But when my inbox is starting to go, no, you're a bit full now. Try and sift it off to the group or the page, and you can't do that because they don't want to open up to everybody else. And it's a very important thing for me, and I appreciate every single person who comes forward. I really do. It takes balls. It really does. It's a difficult thing to do.
And you are the man to do it, my friend.
I appreciate that.
To do it.
I appreciate it.
So just in closing, you want to plug anything that's coming up that you might want to announce? I know you were involved in another podcast that was coming up. Maybe you want to share a little bit about that.
That's that podcast was with MJ over in Meant to Fit. That it will happen at some point. He's going through some stuff right now, so we're taking it as that comes.
Fantastic.
I have a competition on Instagram that no one has picked up on yet, so I'm gonna sort yourselves out, right? If you can head over to the Mindless Chef Instagram, there's a competition over there. That's something.
The link is below, actually. Stick
it in there. You've got it there already. I saw it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. If there's any others that you want me to add, just send me the links.
I will. Don't you worry. I'll fill you up. It's a competition to win a free hamper of goodies that I'm going to make for them. And who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want chutneys and jams and wines and reductions and this, that, and the other made for them? Yeah. Competition on Instagram. Go over there. And if you haven't gone over already, just give us a follow. We need it. We need you. People, we need you. We need you. We'd be nowhere without you. Absolutely nowhere. We would.
My friend, you have been an absolute pleasure to talk to.
It's been wonderful.
I didn't want it to go too long because I know you you have to get to bed as well. You didn't get much sleep last night.
This is
yeah, it's running low, man. It's running low. And I don't know if your sister is still in the chat and if she's still watching, but I do want to give her a thanks for joining us briefly in the chat and showing her support.
Yeah, thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, absolutely. Share this out, guys. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I've also linked the Mindless Chef YouTube channel. Be sure to go across and subscribe to the channel.
We will have things coming over there, I promise.
I was about to say it's just starting out. The guys are I'm sure they're gonna be interviews and all kinds of content coming out there.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. Follow Neil, follow the Mindless Chef, follow the whole crew and all the great things that he's doing. And yes, please subscribe to my channel as well.
Please follow you, yes.
And if anybody has mental health journeys that they want to share, put them in the comments below. Let's continue having the conversation. So
we'd love to connect. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
That said, good night, everyone.